Hey guys, my name is Jeff Hopeck. Welcome to this special community, Hey Dads Can We? Because we all know there's going to be a last time that we're ever going to hear that phrase from our sons. And it's going to get replaced. It's going to get replaced by those things that we just, I know me, I push them out. I don't want to deal with them. Car keys, college, all this independence. So this community is literally a reminder to slow down, hit the pause button, start saying yes a little bit more often. Be there, not just physically, but being there, rolling up your sleeves, getting down on the ground with them, playing these little tiny, these fun games that we talk about, just special moments, right? So presence is greater than presence. Our kids need us. They need us there. They don't need perfection. They need us. They need presence. So welcome to this community. Follow us over on Instagram. Be sure to follow, subscribe on YouTube. I'm gonna be shooting videos, sharing tips, hacks, tricks, and all that great stuff. And I encourage you, if you'd like to come on the podcast, I could do these virtually, no problem at all, or you can come to my studio in Georgia. But if you know somebody, please send them our way. All we're trying to do here is make a giant compilation of all these great dad tips, tricks, and hacks that are out there. So thank you again for being part of the community. All right, today I have a good friend of mine, family friends. Our kids are in school together. We're all in for a treat here. I just can't wait to hear the wisdom. So let's just get right into it. For anyone who doesn't know you, tell us who you are as a dad.
Yep.
But not as the title dad. Tell us who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. So, man, when I thought about this question, when I think about this question, there's really kind of three things that stick out for me. The first one is, and my dad modeled this so well, but I'm a dad who tries to be present. And everybody hears that, but what does it mean to be present? And there's this. We did this book study this summer up at Perimeter Church on this book called The Men We Need by Brent Hansen. Mm-hmm. And there was a quote in there that stuck with me. And it stuck with me so much that in my office, I have a whiteboard. And I wrote it at the very top of my whiteboard, along with a couple other things. It's like, I want to see this, and I want this to be my heart posture every day, with whether it's my family, my work, whatever I do. But it says, godly men make things better around them, not perfect. And I thought about that, and I was like, man, am I making things better around me because of my presence? Or am I just simply being present for the sake of doing what I'm supposed to be doing, right? Yeah. So for me, it's more like a heart posture. Another thing, too, this is just the way I'm wired, but I'm just a very joyful, optimistic, hope-filled person. I try to see the good in situations, and that is infused into my boys. And what I've tried to do is as a father, show them, like, man, there's so much beauty around us. Like, instead of looking down, look up, pick your head up, keep going forward. Even when times get tough, I was like, there's so much to be appreciative about around you. It's even a practice I've done. I think sometimes whenever I go through tough times, I'll just go sit out in my backyard with a fire pit on and a night sky, and I just look up at the stars. And I'm like, my problems are so small in the grand scheme of what exists. So that's one thing.
I love it.
And then the last one, and I'm sure you can probably relate to this a lot, but just, I look at being a father as a calling, and it's a high calling. And it even says that in the Bible. Like when you look at Ephesians, it says, fathers, do not provoke your children to anger, but bring them up in the discipline and instruction of the Lord. And I think so much of being a father is like, man, I think early as you're planting so many seeds that you're not going to see until later on down the road. As a dad, that can be so frustrating because you're like, man, I want my kids to have strong character. I want them to have integrity, things like that. And you're constantly planting these seeds, and you're like, man, when am I going to see one sprout? Yeah. But man, I'm in that stage now, and you probably are too, where it's just like I'm starting to see some of those seeds sprout and how they're interacting with friends or with family or different situations, and it always just like brings a little smile on my face. I'm like, man, this is what being a dad's like. You're seeing the fruits of your labor, and it's awesome.
What about when it doesn't go right though?
Oh man, when it doesn't go right. Well, and this is when I thought about this, but man, when it doesn't go right, I've got to be careful in how I react to that. I'm very much a doer and like a checklist type of person. Yeah. So it can become very transactional. So it's like, instead of me trying to get to the heart of the problem, it can very much be like, I'm trying to modify his behavior because either I'm tired of it or it looks bad upon me as a father, so on and so forth. And I have to really go through the filter of, like, what is the heart behind why they're acting this way, or why they're being disobedient, or why they don't care about what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And part of it's just asking them good questions like, buddy, what do you feel right now to make you respond that way? Or what has someone done to you, or what have I done to you? Is there something that's going on that is making you lash out this way or not want to be obedient, or so on and so forth? And usually you'll kind of see this countenance, like their shoulders kind of drop a little bit. You kind of see them ease up a little bit.
Yeah.
And that wall drops down. And they remember, like, oh yeah, this is my dad. I can calm down. I don't have to be on guard.
Right.
So I mean, it happens all the time.
Yeah.
And especially I've met like with buddies, like with friends, like they just bicker about stuff sometimes.
Oh.
But it's good teaching moments for them. It's even like teaching them, instead of just, the parent-son or parent-daughter relationship, it's like, how do you interact with other people that aren't family? So that's one of the things I love about this neighborhood and all the friends, obviously, we have in this area. It's like, man, you just see their interactions. And sometimes you can step in as parents and help out with conflict, but sometimes you guys are like, hey, I want to see you guys handle this conflict and come to a resolution. If you need me, I'll step in then.
Yeah. And sometimes it's totally non-related. They could be melting down, right? And then when you get in and roll up your sleeves and start asking those the deeper heart questions.
Absolutely.
I remember, like, not long ago, we're going through a meltdown, and getting to the bottom, it was Luke, getting to the bottom of what was going on, it had nothing to do with the toy they were fighting. It was the spider died out on the driveway. That, they love the insect so much. And it was like, he was still sad about the spider. So brought the sadness to the next situation.
It snowballs into everything.
Right. So that it's like so anyway, that's a great point that you have. All right. So tell me about your boys so make it challenging for you. One word.
One word?
To describe each of them.
So Brooks, if I had to think of one word, and man, this has been consistent since he was little. He's a protector. Like
is he younger? Where is he?
Brooks is our oldest. So he's number one of two boys. So he's just a protector. He wants to see justice be done like the right way. Or like he wants to see. And it's just natural for him. They run around our house with swords and guns and dressed up like army soldiers, and we're like...
And they knock on our door dressed up that way,
and then
too,
they come
and
here
I love
like
it.
that. Yeah, and they're like, come on, team, let's do this together. He's always been a protector. And then Bennett, our youngest one, when I think about it, he's just hilarious. Like, the kid does not have a care in the world. I'm convinced. I joke with Lauren. I was like, Brooks is the protector, but I could see him doing something that's like he's a safe protector, like something that doesn't involve getting shot at or in a battlefield or something in that. I could see him being like a doctor, a lawyer, like something like that. Bennett's the opposite. I think he's hilarious, but he's like, I could see him being the kid that becomes a Navy SEAL. Like, no fear, hilarious, doesn't have a care in the world.
That's awesome. I mean, I can totally relate to that in the birth order. So that's really cool. All right, what is something recently that you've done that made them light up?
Oh man, there's two things, and you'll understand one of these. So the first one, we actually just did it this weekend. It was something so small, but they had been asking me for a couple months now, and we just could not find a good time to do it. So this past weekend, I finally was like, you know what? We're not going to sit here and hang out and watch college football today. And I was like, we've done enough of that.
Whoa.
They were like, they wanted to just go up to the perimeter baseball field. They just want to go hit baseballs, throw the football, and play soccer. So I literally threw everything in a little like old knapsack. I threw it in the truck and said, let's go, guys. And we literally spent almost 3 hours out there just hitting baseballs, playing soccer, throwing the football, and just interchanging between all those different sports.
That's awesome.
And I think the intentional time of like, hey, we told Dad we wanted to do this.
Yeah.
Maybe it didn't happen right away, but he remembered. He didn't forget those conversations. Like, it happened eventually, just maybe not as fast as we wanted.
So that's awesome. So let's just say it's 2.5 hours.
Yep.
Do you struggle with setting your phone down on the side, or do you still keep it in your pocket?
So it depends. It's such a good question. It depends on the setting. Because we were outside and it's just a big field, I literally I think I had a hat on, I threw my hat down and threw my phone in it. I didn't touch my phone the entire time we were there. something about just being outside and it's not easy access. And part of it's probably like, man, my phone's way over there. I don't feel like going and getting it.
Yeah.
Part of it's just, I don't laziness. I'm not going to go mess with it. Whenever I'm at home, it's a lot harder. And the reason it's a lot harder is just post-COVID with this whole remote working thing. Like, I go to the office maybe 2 times a week max. Usually it's about 1 day a week. But when I'm working at home, work has kind of infused itself to like all times during the day. So it's like early morning, I can answer a few emails now, or in the afternoon during dinner, like, okay, I'm done with dinner, now I can go respond to an email. I have to be super intentional there's really 2 things I do. One, I delete social media off of my phone during the day. If it's not on my phone during the day, I'm less likely to pick it up because I'm thinking in my head, I have to re-download this app. I don't want to deal with that.
Whoa, that's aggressive.
I try that, and I delete it, and I don't download it back until the evening after the boys are asleep and Lauren and I've had some time to catch up. So that's one thing. The second thing is something as simple as just flipping your phone over. Like, just not being able to see the screen is huge for me. I don't know what it is. It's like psychological. It's like I can't see notifications, so it's out of sight, out of mind.
That's good. I mean, if that helps you, I know that wouldn't help me because I still will have to reach for it. I love the one tip I got. One of my buddies, when he comes home from work, and he works more 9 to 5, so scheduled time home, which we don't, but he said when he gets home, the phone does not leave the truck.
Wow,
that's his
awesome.
Rule. But he knows that boundary. Like, I know if it's in my house, I will make a justification to go to it.
Yep.
So when it was like a light bulb moment. He's like, look, it's not about perfection.
Yeah.
He's like, I know my times that I've got to do it.
Yep.
Like when I have so much work that I know I'm bringing it in the house.
Absolutely.
I got to just leave it in the phone. Go be present for a window of time and be present.
That is so good.
And then I know it's there. So that's a cool little tip. But
I like that one. That's a good one.
So, all right, you got an incredible career going. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag on the news you told me before the episode, but congratulations on that.
Yes.
That is so cool. So, but regardless if that doesn't work out, you have a great career now.
Yep.
So with your career now, what are some of the bigger struggles that you have balancing career and balancing being present?
Yeah, for sure. I think I may have alluded to it earlier, but just the way I'm wired, I'm very much a doer. Like I love to get things done. I like to tackle projects, and I like to do it now. Like I don't like stuff sitting out there in the hopper that needs to be worked on. I had this like running mental checklist of like all the things I need to do, and I can compartmentalize it. It's like I have my work checklist, I have my family checklist, I have like home stuff. So it's like a Rolodex. I just roll through it whenever I need to. I can compartmentalize things.
For sure. Makes sense.
The problem with that is I've had to learn to like put some of that stuff aside. Like I've had to like purge it from my memory, because one of the things that is really interesting about kids is they know when you're not all in and you're fully focused on what they're doing or what you're doing with them. And if you're not fully engaged, I find they will quickly call you out.
Quickly.
And honestly, I'm okay with it. I want them to be open and honest with me, like, Dad, we just don't feel like you're paying attention right now. Or like, you seem like you're distracted. And sometimes I'll be honest with them, like, buddy, I am distracted. There's something difficult going on at work, and I'm just mentally
and that's
there.
Important.
Exactly.
To be honest.
100%. But I also end that with, but I still love you guys. I want to spend time with you. So, what do you guys want to do? Like, let's do something. And a lot of times if I get outside, being outside and outside of the house just kind of helps me forget about some of those things and ease up a little bit. Because it's just the way I'm wired, that's definitely one of the things I've struggled with. And with Lauren, my wife, she, I've given her the freedom, and we'll talk about things back and forth. Just like, hey, if you ever see me kind of getting out of alignment where I'm either prioritizing work too much or, responsibilities at church as being an elder or other things that we're involved in, it's like, please challenge me and like, let's have a conversation so we can get back on track as a family.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome. We do these little fun games in the house where they sit in the fireplace, they hold the hat, and I try to throw it in and then it's just
cool.
like sweet stuff. But this happened just yesterday. So Bo said, my middle, said, can we play the hat game? But then he adds this, and it's like piercing to the heart. He goes, but can you do it without looking at your phone?
Yep.
And not in a way like you're not giving me the right amount of time.
He just genuinely meant it.
He just said it like matter of fact. Like, can we play the hat game? But this time, you don't look at your phone. Right? Because I'm the guy. I'm that one.
Yep.
That's like, I'll throw the ball,
Yep.
and then if he's got to go 3 feet and get it,
I have
I'll
time.
look at my phone real quick.
Yep.
But then he'll be standing there waiting to throw it back
Yeah.
to me, and I'm still looking at my phone. It's like, ugh.
Hey,
So this is a
guess
constant
what?
reminder for all
You're
of us.
not alone.
Right.
I've been caught in that same convicting, like, Dad, can you do this? And I'm like, you're right. I should be doing this.
Yeah.
Or I should not be doing this.
So the convictions are like all the time. It wasn't like 8 years ago,
Yeah.
I had this bright light moment.
Yeah,
right?
same.
Which is
Yep.
sort of my next question is I want to ask you, like, do you experience it daily,
Yeah.
the conviction?
Yeah.
Or how does that manifest in your life with the phone?
I would say maybe not so much daily, but definitely weekly. Where there's just moments where it's kind of, I mean, I think about it just, it's kind of just like life. You know, like you have these peaks and valleys in life where like you're just, one moment you're on fire, the next moment you're in the valley. It's the same thing with dealing with distractions. And really the biggest thing for my phone from a distraction standpoint is work and social media. And it comes down to two things. One, work. I'm a doer and I want my people to know that I'm available and I care about them and that I care about them enough that I'm going to respond to them in a timely manner, right? That's it's a respect thing for me. And the second thing is just from a social media standpoint, it's just like, I just like to be in the know of what's going on around the world. I mean, I use social media, podcasting, that for just, it's my news. That's where I get my updates. I connect, a lot of my friends that I connect with that don't live in the area, we do it through social media and other stuff like that. So again, part of it's just like, I care about these people.
FOMO.
Exactly, it is. It's FOMO. It's just like, well, I don't want to miss out on the conversation that's happening on my phone between my best friends or my buddies.
Yeah.
But I've also, this filter I put it through my head now is like, when we only have such a short amount of time where our kids are in our house and we get to influence them and we get to teach them good habits. And a lot of these habits that they see me doing, especially I have two boys, they see what dad is doing. Those are going to be the same habits that they do and they take forward with them. And then they'll create some of their own habits as they get out of the house. So I have to think about that constantly. Like, man, when I'm talking with my son, like, do I want him to have his phone in his hand the whole time? And whenever there's a pause in breath for him to look down at it and then look back up at me and then look back down at it. And it's just like, I just try to run it through that filter of like, how do the boys see me right now versus how I see myself?
Yeah. Wow.
Yep.
Very convicting. What do you think it means ultimately to be present when you hear that phrase? What does that mean to you?
Yeah, to be present. Man, you know, it's when we talk a lot about presence. I think being present is really one thing. I would say the first thing is doing stuff that your kids want to do. A lot of times when I'm being present with them, it's like I'm dragging them along to things that I have to do or that I want to do. It's like true presence is like, man, I heard what you said. I heard you wanted to experience this or do this, and then going and doing it with them. And just having that undivided, prime example is like medieval times when we did that. Yeah. My boys have been asking to do that for I don't know how long. And the fact that we finally got to do that, like they have thanked me more for that that time together than I can remember anything. Just like it had an impact on them. Like, Dad heard me, he took me, he was present with me, and had fun doing something that I like to do.
That's so cool.
And then also just no distraction. I mean, we probably beaten that horse dead at this point.
Right.
But man, if there's any way possible to get rid of that phone, it doesn't have to be all day. It can be, you know, I've heard, what's his name, Justin Whitmore Early, who does the Habits of the Household. Yeah. I've learned so much from him and reading through some of his books, but even just like, you know, I guess they have these boxes where you can like put your phone in. For me, that's the biggest thing. It kind of goes to the same thing like your buddy was saying, leave your phone in your truck. Like for me, if my phone is not within a radius that's within like from here to kitchen or here to office, I won't go mess with it. If it's out in my truck or if it's somewhere else far enough away, it's like, it's too far away. I'm good. I don't have to deal with it. I can be in the now right now. So just knowing how I'm wired, being able to put some of those boundaries in place has been helpful.
Yeah. Okay, you got a lot of dads listening here that are listening right now, that are listening tomorrow and going to be listening in 10 years from now. What's a message you would leave to them?
Man, it's fun. I've been thinking about this one a lot. And some of it, I've always thought about this just because, you know, I think about my dad and the reason, you know, he left Greece and came over here and just, he wanted to create a legacy for his family that just impacted generations to come, right? And that word legacy for me is like, man, what am I leaving behind for my children? But not even just my children, like what am I leaving behind for generations that come after them? And, you know, this whole topic really kind of came to a head whenever we went, I attended the Perimeter Men's Ministry like yearly conference they had down at Cowley Gardens this year. And Brian Loritz got up there and just talked about his legacy from like all the way back to I think like his great grandfather who was a slave, who started one of the first churches in the area of South Carolina he was, to literally every single male in that family after that has become a pastor. Not just that, every one of them has been married for 40 plus years to their wife. And this is just a legacy that he said, like, I'm going to start this and I'm going to pass this on to every generation, hopefully from now into eternity or forever.
Sure.
So, I think about that. I just want to leave a legacy. And I kind of looked at this where if you look in John 1:4, it says, I have no greater joy than to hear that my children are walking in the truth. Like if my children are walking in the truth, then I've done a good job. And I hope them walking in the truth leads to long-term stability in relationships with family, with their marriages. Yeah. And I hope they pass on like those characteristics that they got from me. And one of the biggest things with me with being a father and also being a Christian is just walking the walk versus just talking the talk. Yeah. And I want them to see like, hey, these are those habits that he infused in his life that impacted me that I want to continue doing for my children, and I want my children to do it for them for as long as they can. So legacy is, I think about my legacy a lot. Just like what the decisions I'm making now, how is it impacting hundreds, if not thousands of generations after me?
Wow. So, how would you convert that to the person out there who doesn't, maybe they believed and now they don't.
Yep.
But they're like, now the Bible's not where we get our truth.
Yep.
Let's be sensitive to those. And
absolutely.
What would you say?
Yeah, I would say even for those that aren't Christians, I was like, don't you want your children to look back and say, my father gave me tools that helped me to flourish in life? Regardless of what flourishing looks like to you, whether it's being a Christian or a non-Christian or whatever that may be. Wow. I think people genuinely they want to flourish. We want what's best for our kids. We want what's best for our relationships around us, the people we work with. It's like, what are those tools that I'm going to really be intentional about and pass on to the next generation? And hopefully they care about it enough and they see how much it impacted my life positively that just continues to pass on generation to generation.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's profound.
Yep.
All right, finish this sentence. Being a dad means...
Oh, man. I'll use being a dad means leading by example. I would say being a dad means being proactive. So when you see things going on in your family, don't just sit back and think they're going to fix themselves. Be the leader that you've been called to be and engage. I think one of the biggest problems we have in society right now is just disengaged fathers. They've forfeited their right to be a father to whether it be school or some other organization, and those things are great. That's not what I'm saying. It's just as fathers we have to lead by examples because our kids are looking at us. They're looking at us as the leaders of the family. And we really need to be careful with our actions and where we're leading them. So that's the biggest thing. And my dad did this so well. Just again, talking about being present. Like my dad led by example, and because the way he was present in my life, I don't remember a soccer game, a football game, a school event, or something that I was involved in that he wasn't either sitting in the stands or right there next to me in that. Yeah. He infused that into me, and now it just comes out of me naturally because of him leading by example and being present.
Yeah.
So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
One last question. What's something you're doing now that's different than how you were raised?
Yeah, for sure. And I think my dad would agree with this because we've talked about this, and he's asked for forgiveness for some just the different ways he raised us that he looks back on now. He's like, man, I just wish I would have done a better job there. But just being more patient with our kids. There's so many times where just like we have so many things going on and pressures as dads and husbands and things like that we can let that flow out of our words and our actions towards our kids. And a lot of our times the kids get they just get the messy side of our emotions. Yeah. So a lot of times just being patient with them, like let them ask a million questions. Sure. Let them come sit on your lap while you're working on something or on an important call. Yeah. That's just patience is something that just doesn't come naturally to me. Again, just with being a doer and very checklist minded, it's just like I don't have to. I just want to get stuff done. Yeah. So the way I look at it is like be less transactional with my boys and more relational. Is the way that I've and just and really get down on their level. Like take the adult hat off and become a dad and enter their world. I said that to Lauren the other day. I was like, man, we went up in our playroom and Bennett was just playing on our Lego table and he was just like in another world. I mean, characters playing together. And I was like, how often do I get into his world with him? And I felt convicted. I was like, man, a lot of times I stay in my world and try to bring my world into his, and there's a disconnect there. So I was like, I just need to get on his level, enter his world, and enjoy it, because one day that's going to be gone.
I know. And you're not going to know.
And I'm not going to know. It happens. Like, think about the last.
Gone.
Like, when was the last time they asked to do this? Or when was the last time they wanted to lay in bed with us at night? You don't think about it, and you're like, man, that happened. When did that stop happening?
They all start sliding away, and we lose them to. We're going to lose them to car keys and college.
Exactly.
And all the things.
And it comes quicker than we think too. I can't believe it's like a vapor.
I know. Well, the whole point of doing this is to gather all these nuggets together.
Yeah.
Right? So we're going to keep putting nuggets together, keep building this community.
Yeah. I'm excited to hear some other nuggets from other dads.
I can't wait. I know. I can't wait because I've heard some on my other podcasts.
Yeah. Yep.
That have a lot to do with presence.
Yeah.
Parenthood and all that stuff. So,
Yep.
hey, I want to say thanks, man.
Absolutely, brother.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, man.